Greetings, I am Liz.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Alright!
So we are back with the arcade spirits. We are trying to convince everyone to go with our insane plan. And it is not yet working. But, you know, we have heart. We have the power of heart.
Except that actually, apparently, it seems to work in a very generic sort of fashion.
Well, what we have is basically the power of magic verbal communication, where we have persuasiveness. We have really, really high charisma.
Oh, I could see that.
We roll well all the time with public speaking.
Yeah.
Everyone nods in agreement, and I can even see some smiles start to appear. We're all on board. Now, just determine the how of the plan.
Decision: funding the ghost monsters.
Oh dear. At the risk of stating the obvious, why don't we talk to the police about this? They've proven unhelpful so far, but if we go down to the station and fully explain our situation, we may be able to gain the information we need. It's true.
Okay.
And you could also, in fully explaining your situation, say that they hang out at Deco's place.
This is exhausting.
It
because they would have already been here to explain, and we would have already explained our situation.
I was gonna say,
so this feels redundant and stupid.
If we haven't explained the full situation to the police, like if we haven't talked it all over, the only part we haven't told them is Deco is behind this because he knew the name of the team. Like that is the only piece of information we can add to, quote, the full situation. And so that sounds redundant and sounds silly.
Pretty much.
I feel this would be a reasonably steady course of action.
I'm not certain about showing up and just asking for them to open their files to us, but, which they would never do.
Nope.
By the way. But you're correct. The police would have the information we need. Except cybercrime is a sticky situation. You have to control leaks. If they're looking into the ghost monsters, they won't just tell us outright. The key is talking to the right people. I know most of the cops at Ben and Matt's Donut Shop by name, and I know one friendly officer that'll help us.
We really do want to go a police route, huh?
No way.
Why get the cops involved? We already know someone who's got an axe to grind against Sue and her buddies. Or rather, a chainsaw.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's right, Queen Bee. We're gonna ask the lovely Chainsaw Gang. They'll be easier to find and would probably be thrilled to divulge all the dirt they have on the ghost monsters. Or they'll carve us up with switchblades. Could go either way,
Also,
actually.
what are gangs around here? We know nothing about gangs in this entire world, and this whole, like, the world-building universe experience that we've had so far, we know nothing about the function gangs serve or what they even are in this world.
Yeah.
So this is all very, very foreign as a player experience in this. I do like, however, that finally people are putting input, and it's not just our plan, by ourselves, in a void.
Yeah, and again, I agree with my friend. I feel like the gang angle is so sort of bizarre. It feels like a out of left field Monster of the Week plot.
It does.
Like, it doesn't feel very coherent in regards to the rest of the story. It's just sort of, what could be a fun thing we could throw in here for drama, I guess.
I was gonna say, and even though it includes other characters that we've seen before, which is pretty cool, we've admitted. So it's like, it's this thing that we know nothing about in universe. And you've worked so hard to establish, you know, the universe in this game of going, you know, here's the year, here's the alternate timeline, you know, here's the, you know, arcades and experiences that you've got. So you get familiar with this world, and then there's just this.
Ugh.
All right, I'll admit, this is a super gutsy move. But if we pull it off, we don't need to be involved. We don't need to involve the authorities at all.
Okay. Ha!
Whoa.
This whole situation's a bit too sticky for my liking. Cops and robbers, no thank you. Although the alternative I'm about to suggest may be stickier still.
Are you talking hacking? Oh.
Lies first met the ghost monsters at Deco's palace.
Thank
yes?
God! Yes.
Why the hell? I'm sorry, I'm tired.
Like,
I'm
oh
tired.
my God, he's
Oh,
the
God.
one. Fortunately, he went with us to see this. Would someone else have suggested it if we took someone else with us?
I don't know.
That would be amazing. I would love to see
That'd
that
be
experience
wild.
on this game.
They're regulars there, so we investigate Deco's palace to find someone who knows Sue and her mates. If we can find a good friend of hers and make them understand why we need to speak with Sue, well, we're already on somewhat good terms with Sue, thanks to Lies remaining diplomatic about all this. we should keep that going.
I think I'd attract too much attention if I went to Deco's palace. I show my face around there, it's going to raise some questions.
But my face wouldn't. Deco doesn't know me. I was Funplex adjacent rather than a Funplex regular.
It's true.
Yes, it's definitely very true. And he didn't pay too much attention to me when I was attending that business dinner with you. I'd hazard I could join her without any issue.
Yeah, we could slip in and ask around about Sue without anybody noticing.
Or Sue might just be there.
Right? I'd say this kindly strategy is an honest appeal to those who may know her. What could be more cordial?
Definitely.
Also, I like that they point out that we did get on her good side. Like, the game is even confirming in the way that it's had some really good communication moments like that of, you have built good rapport with this person who seems to be in a complicated situation, you know?
It's true.
If she's got a single friend in that place, I'll find them.
That's because you are friendship incarnate, except when you're judging us.
Daring mission into enemy territory, but for you, Lies, I'll do it.
I see.
Well,
all right.
What are you looking at me for? I don't have any ideas.
Poor thing.
I mean, well, you could try Googling for her accounts, TM?
What? I'm reasonably sure Iris already tried that. Iris, I say, outing Iris in front of absolutely everyone at this point?
Yup! I even used Yahoo, TM, Bing, TM, AltaVista, TM, and Webcrawler TM, as well as SmackJeeves and Netscape.
And Lycos, go get it!
Yay!
TM!
Except some of those are gone.
Yeah. I have no idea what half of those are, except for I, who had a dad who did computer development during the birth of the web time, do know what they all are.
It's true.
Because he really was in Silicon Valley doing computer stuff when the computer stuff was starting.
Okay, but that's not really what I meant. I mean, checking online forums for arcade enthusiasts. She loves arcades, right? She may have an account there. I've
forums.
been rejoining online communities lately to try and open up to like-minded folks and socialize a bit more on my own terms. She's got to be lurking in one of those places.
Oh, wait! I know! If we can't passively search for her, we can actively call her out!
As much as I hate internet trolls, they do get results. If we taunt the ghost monsters online, well, I'm positive Sue's the sort of person who looks herself up constantly. Right?
A winner is you.
Of course! And with my help, we can establish fake accounts to spread the message so far and wide that she can't miss it. Gavin, what the hell is wrong with your iris?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say,
What
everyone
the hell
going,
is wrong with
"Holy
your iris?
crap, your iris is amazing." And you get Juniper going, "Your iris is still amazing." Anybody else who has an iris? I love, though, that Gavin is the one that we are in danger of outing Iris to Gavin and having her shut down. Gavin is listening while this goes on.
Yep, no pressure. Just a thing.
And it's just really... I feel like I'm having one of those moments like we had in the Arcana going, what's supposed to be the priority here? Are we supposed to be protecting Iris from Gavin, who it sounds like there's a background plot of essentially his family could just delete her and her peers and just shut down their ability to have as much independence as they do if they're found out? And like, we're being super cavalier with her sentience here.
Right? That sounds a little
Which is just
unfeeling.
makes me really uncomfortable. Also, that she's being really cavalier about it, going, I'll just talk in front of the person that I've identified as the primary threat.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd suggest we use public internet access points to keep it from being traced back to Funtervention, though. Ooh, road trap. Road trap! This is really weird.
This is. Also, the
Like-
three of them are talking to each other as if they're the two people standing on the screen, because
This-
everybody else was in groups of two.
Is genuinely strange. All right, so I actually just realized something. You're gonna forgive me. I think
Okay.
it's hilarious. But so we did a test run earlier for a stream, and I changed the style, and I didn't realize that it would just change it entirely. So excuse me while I go like this.
I was kind of staring at that, going, something's different, but I'm in work mode, so you know.
Road trip.
And the thing is it's funny because they did have all of them in groups of two, so you would know who you'd be aligning with, basically. And then this is her and Iris as a group, basically.
What?
I can tell from Gavin Winson at this that he's not a fan. But he's not a fan of Iris in general. So, and he is specifically listening, and we're specifically not worried about this. Let's call in again that he is paying attention, and all the Irises are concerned about his involvement and awareness. And he's not excited about this. Why are we not really concerned about this?
What's going on, game? Excuse me?
I don't know what I'm supposed to, how much I'm supposed to worry about that plot.
I like this plan, Miss Naomi. It's pretty quirky, but it just might work.
It's also weird that they're suddenly introducing the, like, the emotional expressions inside of the spoken text.
I mean, I honestly find it to be a little bit charming.
I just think it's interesting that they're suddenly doing it that way.
Yeah.
Like, what changed?
I don't know, but I mean, it's kind of cute, so...
They're all of them going, now we'll actually engage with the meta in the late game.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I did say I wanted options. Involving the cops after all the semi-shady things we've done. You mean your Iris has done?
Yeah, no kidding.
And you know, possibly, you know, some hacking at max. Oh, is risky. So is provoking a rival gang of armed hooligans?
So is.
Oh, thank you. So is provoking a rival gang of armed hooligans. So is infiltrating Deco's palace. So is... They're all gonna have their own risks, but you knew your plan had issues. Okay. Posting a few troll messages isn't that risky, given how many social media companies actually adore trolls and nurture them for advertising dollars. But I could annoy Sue. Oh, it could annoy Sue. What's the best path forward? But before I can decide, Juniper raises her hand.
All of these sound great, but... Lies, you're still recovering from an injury.
You may be compromised.
The less moving around you do, the more likely you'll heal nice and quick. You can't go gallivanting around the city chasing down rumors about the ghost monsters today.
I'm just on crutches, and I'm not in an iron lung or anything. I'm still mobile.
Light duty only. Doctor's orders, remember?
Even though I just berated you for how exhausted I am for caretaking for you, I am going to caretake for you right now. That is what this is. And that's just weird, because she really did. And the thing is just because someone's fed up and exhausted about it doesn't mean they're going to stop at all. If someone's in the habit of caretaking for you, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And it is unfortunate that she is clearly established to be such a caretaker for you that not only does she make decisions for you without consulting you, which happens sometimes when people are entrenched in their roles, I was going to say, but also she really is going to be interrupting going, but what about your health? You need to consider you too.
Yeah, this is... Like I said, so in that way of that stereotype that I've brought up before, it still bugs me how much now it's like Juniper is just with the abusive partner. The girl is with the abusive partner dynamic.
Juniper's behavior is towards us as though we are being a dismissive, abusive partner, even though we're not together.
Yes.
And it's a little wild and uncomfortable, but it also feels like basically we've been taking advantage of it, again, without ever knowing it until the game told us.
And that's the other thing that also, like, so I'm not saying that caretaking for your friends has to be inherently bad or abusive or manipulative, blah, blah, any of that. Okay, so my biggest concern about this is basically there's been no communication, which is the thing that Lies points out, going, you could have told me, we try to have an honest and communicative relationship, and that seems reasonable, but then going, oh, well, we just never talked about it, I just sucked it in because I had to, basically is what it sounded like, and then her getting angry about it is like, whoa, we are having a very different dynamic than I ever thought we were having.
It also felt very strange with this game, where we pointed out at the beginning of it, the game was so good about informed consent and letting you know what your experience was going to be and letting you know that you were going to have freedom of choice and the choices could support you to know what kind of an experience you were choosing, and then suddenly just springing a huge piece of character, basically personality on you extremely late game and having it being a pivotal piece of your relationship with your best friend it really just sounds like essentially mistreatment of the trust that they've built.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean to say that in any like sort of mean way. It just feels like a bit of ill will towards all the trust you've built really hard with your player, because it was such a thoughtful setup that piece feels all the more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At any rate,
Doctor's orders, remember? But I have a solution to this conundrum. It's simple and super effective. Let us do this for you.
I kind of actually expected that's...
I mean, as far as I knew, all of them had been offering to do a thing for you, not with you.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I don't remember any of those conversations going, hey, we should take Lies. Yeah, and we'll go down and go do this thing. Like, I suppose there's the assumption that you would imagine you'd be included, but the character specifically went, yeah, and I will do this thing, and then the other person going, I will do this thing.
Right?
I mean, other than maybe like Gavin and Teo. Gavin and Teo were sort of generically like this thing, and Teo was like, I know somebody.
And the thing is it's like, I love that they do know people, but I also am just, and but it sounded like they were all offering to do these things on their own. They were offering to basically offer their resources and their time and skill, not doing a thing with us. And so this is a little redundant.
You've had to tackle all these problems since joining the Funplex by yourself. Why not step back and let us handle this one?
So are you actually jumping into the meta of going, Lies is an independent tuna and doesn't teamwork well?
That would be amazing.
Well, okay, but I need to be there when we finally confront Sue. While you're out and about, I guess I'll get some rest so I'm ready for tonight. Sound good? Does that mean you guys are doing all of the things?
In a day?
No, but does that also mean, like, one, it's going to be solved in a day no matter what?
Whoa.
Interesting. But two, does that mean you're all deciding without us so we, the player, doesn't get to decide?
Whoa.
And all of those things are happening? I'm confused. Let's find out.
Sounds good.
These are my friends. I trust them entirely.
Except that you don't seem to. You didn't talk to them about... Never mind. I'm fine. There are things about this that don't scream friend to me at all.
So now, the only question is, which plan do I want to give my Lies seal of approval? Okay, so we are going to choose one.
The LSA.
The LSA. We need to give an LSA. I don't want to bring in the police because part of the way we built our rapport is by not doing the police. And it's been pointed out twice that not calling the police is part of how we built our rapport with Sue.
So not the police. I honestly don't think the lovely chainsaws like us very much, and I think I don't know honestly how much Lies would be interested in talking to them.
I don't think Lies would really... I mean, given that there's been no information about gangs at all, I feel like Lies would feel very out of place doing that because Lies knows nothing, based on our entire knowledge of the character, about gangs, gang life, gang anything. I think Lies would be very interested in infiltrating Deco's palace because we really did meet them first there.
Yeah.
That feels like the most natural course of action for this MC is to go, we would just go to Deco's palace and try and get them. Now, sending Juniper and Percy, I don't know that either of them are going to be the best personality to do that.
I'm also just like, what leads you to
honestly,
believe that Deco won't remember Percy?
One, right? And I wouldn't think you'd want to send Percy, but you can't switch him out.
Yeah.
Because I would solidly be like, send Teo. He's going to be as cool and fun as those kids are looking for.
Yeah.
And in the right kind of gaming to disarm people so there's no, direct friction.
Yeah.
So if you sent him and Juniper to infiltrate, that would be a really disarming crew.
Yeah, Juniper's sweet and bubbly and fun. I mean, Percy's, he's a nice guy, but he's pretty quiet.
He's also
that's
a little
super
bit
weird.
Percy's also been pretty judgmental. He's very seeming basically ascribes to his own ways. So when things aren't the way he does it, he really does get a little bit softly but judgy of going, yeah, well, I wouldn't do it that way.
Yeah.
In the same way that's how he responded, when we didn't buy a Mr. Moopy. Oh, well, that's a thing, I guess.
I mean, Teo did the same
Teo did the same thing, but Percy's done it a few different times in reference to, here's what I know. And I stick with that.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting to watch him be like, I act really easygoing and chill, but I really am a little bit set in my ways.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. It's not a bad thing. It's just a description of him as a character.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I don't feel like we know enough about using the internet, and so we'd feel so disconnected from that.
It's so funny.
I feel like Lies would feel really disconnected from that, because it doesn't feel as impersonal as everything else we've sent Iris out to do.
All right, so let's get more personal then and infiltrate Deco's palace as Juniper and Percy, since that's all we have.
Yeah, it also seems like Lies is a very face-to-face, hands-on kind of person.
Yeah.
So I feel like this would be a thing that would make sense for them.
Yeah.
All right. I think our best bet is to keep things quiet. Not involve the police or criminals. Not troll the internet. Just ask around for some of Sue's friends. I feel like if we went back and we asked Teo to come with us to the Deco Palace, then we could send Teo and Juniper and it'd be perfect.
I know.
Because Teo would be then the one who knew that we met them there first. Juniper, Percy, you two head off to Deco's Palace and see what you can learn.
Even though, again, I'm like, it still bugs me because I'm going, what would we actually have done, have chosen, have been? Because, taking Teo didn't make any sense, which is one of the things where I'm really frustrated, just going these choices seem all over the place. Why wouldn't you communicate? I don't know. It's fine.
Again, if you're not going to include all of your friends whose livelihoods are connected to this, if you're not going to tell, Gavin and Naomi and Ashley, then why would you go to Deco's Palace at all if they're all your friends?
Yeah.
And the thing is you would need to either tell all of them or just bring all of them and show up as a crew.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it's a +1. Yeah, but it's not like he's got some sort of an exclusive ball. It's like, it's not a
They can
one
wait
club.
outside in the other room.
Or they can literally just hang around. You were in a public area. You didn't even go into a private office.
I know!
Like,
It's
he
so
saw
bad.
you in the cubby, the basically the customer food cubbies.
I know!
It was the customer like dinner area, special
We
birthday
were
dinner
basically
area.
in a booth where all the kids' birthdays and everybody's regular, food was happening anyway.
So lame.
Anyway, see what you can learn. It's less likely to backfire. At worst, you get arrested for loitering around the place. Yeah, that would, no. I mean, not if you're paying any attention at all.
Yeah.
Or you get your butts kicked by his security, I guess. You're being a little negative there.
Right. We best move along then.
Him, politely, let me cut you off while you're doing nervous rambling.
It's okay. You can count on me, Lies.
Oh.
Bye!
Bye! Everyone else does not respond at all or have any opinions. Also, you can only ever do one of those plans. You can't do multiple layers.
Which seems really silly
It'd be-
because Naomi has literally nothing to do with what Percy and Juniper. I mean, like you could, but I get it, game.
You could still
okay?
look for them online as well.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's
Right.
fine.
That's right. They could count on me. Always. I mean, except for you were completely unreliable after your boss died.
Oh,
and
it's
then-
Juniper.
Okay.
That's Juniper talking. Thanks,
Wow.
game, for not telling me.
Lies and I had been friends for years and would be BFFs for many years to come. I knew I'd be by their side forever and a day.
Even though they infuriate me and exhaust me, and all I do is take care of them while they're a mess.
Like
It's the best friendship ever.
Juniper. That's so
Juniper, are
depressing.
you okay? Are you okay? We need to look at your self-worth, dear.
Okay, so I wouldn't be by their side today. I'd be at Deco's Palace looking for clues, like a teenage mystery sleuth. But I was by their side in spirit.
Like, is
Why
this
are you so attached to us?
Why?
Like
you
are you like completely in love with us romantically or something, and you're just sacrificing yourself needlessly to try and make us better? Not like pining away unrequited ways, but just going, I'm just really attached to you, so I'm super invested in your success, even if it hurts me all the time. I'm not taking care of me because I have strong feelings for you.
God, this is tiring. Anyway, it's okay.
Lies is always solving all these problems for their other friends at the arcade. Always going on crazy adventures and getting into trouble. All while I stayed on the sidelines and supported them and resented the hell out of them.
And they always fix problems for everyone else, but made nothing but problems for me at home.
But now it's time for Juniper's Day in the Sun. Oh, or
We get
Juniper's Day under the fluorescent tube lighting anyway.
We actually get to play Juniper?
Yes.
Oh my god. All right, well, my
Aha!
friend's taking the helm.
I'm so excited.
I've never been to Deco's Palace before. I went to Las Vegas once, though, and this place very much resembled a bad off-strip casino.
That's amazing.
Pulsating lights flashing everywhere, the constant chirps from the games, and not to mention that heavy smell of, like, greasy fried chicken.
God, I hate
Blech.
it when you walk into a building and it just feels like there's fried grease in the air.
Oh,
It's
especially like
so-
in an enclosed area
And you can like feel that weird texture on the carpet through your shoes.
or in your skin, like just against your flesh.
But like there's a level of like the sort of like thick but squishy carpet feel of like gross the gross carpet. But my friend.
I know. Excuse me while I have my drink.
All right, so we're gonna cut this off right here.
Well, let me read this line first.
You will.
Because
you
it's
will.
here. Okay. Not a pleasant aroma, is it? Oh, notice you wrinkling your nose.
He also wrinkled. I want him to wrinkle his nose. It'd be
He
cute.
do no wrinkle, his mouth wrinkle though.
Yeah, he do the lip side face.
Honestly, that's pretty impressive to like. Can you even pull that expression? You move your mouth, raise an eyebrow, and not wrinkle your nose.
Oh, it's hard to do.
Is
without
that
wrinkling your
hard?
nose.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, though, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to look really funny into a mirror all you want because it will be funny and you'll entertain yourself for hours. Also, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. We got some links in the description down below. Please also feel free to go check out and leave us any comments or feedback or like and subscribe, which would be great. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you. Bye!